Hello everyone, this is Jean and Mark from One Day at a Time Farmstead. We had got invited to a collaboration from Christine, Miss.Gilliam Farms channel. This is going to be Wild Game November. We are doing venison jerky, and I might have another surprise, so we'll just hold on and see if I'm able to do it or not, but we're definitely going to do the venison jerky. This was an 8-point from last year that we had in the freezer. We do not discard the front shoulder, the lower part of the leg or anything. We cut that out with the muscle and stuff, and you can see clearly there's silver skin here, but it makes the best jerky. So don't throw away all those little parts that you think are probably nasty for anything else. They make awesome, awesome jerky. So we're going to rinse all this up again real good. Make sure there's no hair, anything on it, no fur. And get it real good and clean. And then we're going to show you how to do the marinade. Alright guys, this is the pineapple tidbits and a light syrup. I usually use the fresh pineapple. It works the very best. But I didn't feel like going to the store to get fresh pineapple right now. So we're just going to go with what we have. I use a half of a can in my marinade, but I'm going to chop it up. Which this is my Pampered Chef manual chopper. If you don't have power, it works awesome. I do have power, but it's just an awesome little tool to have where you're not wasting electricity and stuff, and it minces it up pretty good. So why do we use pineapple with deer meat, or any other meat for that matter? Pineapple has an enzyme called bromelain, or bromelain, however you want to say it. And that actually softens muscle fibers and stuff. So it helps to break the meat down where it's not so tough and chewy. So it does put a little sweet taste to it, but we'll have other seasonings that kind of take away the real sweet and just gives it that wonderful taste that we're looking for in our jerky. Now I am using a half of an onion. I already cut it up somewhat, but I'm going to use that in my Pampered Chef little manual food processor to break it down a little more. And that way the juices and stuff in the onions can help get through the meat. It's going to be part of our marinade. Alright, I have 2 cups of water in this mixing cup. You can do whatever you want. I have 2 cups of water in here. We're going to be adding 4 tablespoons of this beef base that I get from Sam's. Alright, so we mixed up our beef base, which was 2 cups of warm water and the beef base. And you definitely need warm water or hot water because it's got fat in the beef and you want it to break down the fat. And then I'm going to put my onion in here. I have this smoked Redmond real salt, the chef blend. They have several different blends, a cherry, a hickory, a chef's blend, and then they have the regular sea salt or the kosher salt. I absolutely love the real salt that Redmond has. Awesome health benefits and all too. To the salt, I'm going to take a good size teaspoon and add it to my marinade. I wanted to add a teaspoon of black pepper. I did it over the pot, so there was already some in there. This is the Weber roasted garlic and herb from Sam's. Love, love, love this stuff for all my cooking almost. We're using 2 of the teaspoons full. This is what it looks like. It is awesome. I'm going to use 4 of the teaspoons of garlic powder. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of Tony's Sachet, which they changed the name. It's Tony's, no, it's still Sachet, sorry. Creole seasoning. We're going to use a teaspoon, I done dumped some in there, sorry, of the Peppercorn Medly in the grinder, so that's why a lot of it went in there already. I'm going to use 4 ounces of the soy sauce, which I like the Kikkoman. I'm going to use 4 ounces of the Worcestershire sauce. Just keep whisking it and letting it cook down. We're not trying to really thicken it or anything. We're just trying to get the seasonings to marry together. They've been boiling for about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So we're going to turn it down and let it completely cool off now. I did not put the pineapples in there because we want to keep them in the most raw way that we can, because the enzymes break down better rather than cooked. Alright guys, we do want to cut this meat down some so that we have small enough pieces to be jerky. Alright, as I was cutting this down, I wanted to show y'all, do you see how the meat fibers are running this direction? We want to cut opposite of the way the fibers are running. That way it's a more tender cut of meat. Even though we're using it for jerky, we don't want it to be too chewy. Alright, this is a piece with a lot more of the silver skin on it. Just cut your pieces, but don't worry about the silver skin. It will chew up just fine. Alright, this is the flank, kind of by the belly area, abdominal muscle. You can see the grain, like really see the grain in this. It's a chewy piece of meat, but it's awesome for jerky. Now you do want fairly thin slices. Don't have to be paper thin, but that way it can dehydrate properly and it doesn't take quite as long to get the moisture out. Now here I'm just cutting super duper thin little slices, and I'll show you what I'm doing with that in a minute. Alright, the little bitty pieces I cut real thin, we're going to put in a plate and dry. Now with a paper towel, I put it in paper towels. Now I'm just blotting off as much dampness as possible. Why are we doing this? We're making venison chips. I'm going to sprinkle some of this real salt, Chef's Blend smoked Redmond salt again. Just kind of sprinkle a little bit over the top, maybe about a half teaspoon for this amount. And now we're going to add some baking powder. Alright, we have some cooking oil, which is just vegetable oil. The best thing to use is lard. If you have the lard, it makes it fry up perfect. Now we just tossed around our deer chip in the Redmond Chef's Blend smoked salt and the baking powder. We just sprinkled the baking powder all over the top of it and just kind of mixed it all together. I'm using my garlic press from Pampered Chef to mince up some garlic. That is going to go in our marinade. Yes, I use a lot of garlic. I use garlic powder. I use the dried minced garlic, and I'm using fresh garlic. Garlic is so good for you. In this form is the freshest form from the clove. I use 3 of the pods, the large ones, and this is going to additionally help you know, with what's going on at this time of the year with cold and flu season and stuff, just add a lot of extra garlic to your anything you cook in, anything you're doing. Garlic and onions is really good right now. Any time of the year, but especially right now. I threw a little sample piece in there. The cooking oil is good and hot. I'm going to cook that little piece, pull it out, and then we'll go ahead and cook the rest. I love this old pot. My ex-mother-in-law gave me this. It was a school cafeteria pot because she used to work in the cafeteria. And I love this pot. I was going to scrub all the good stuff off of it, like through here and all that. And I've used Brillo pads, but I mean, I was really going to buff it. And I said, nah, just let's leave it as is. That's the way she left it. And she used it after for many, many years. When I fry, I kind of throw individual pieces. You can pick up a few at a time, but just drop them individually because that way everything don't get stuck together. Scooping them out and draining the excess grease. And you want to make sure they're good and floating before you pull them out, and that they've been floating a little bit. Now there is your venison chips. We're going to let them cool down because they'll crisp up a little bit more once they're cool. And that was just a little extra while we were waiting for our marinade to cool and stuff, to not waste, to cut off the little pieces. And it's just fun to have something to snack on while you're doing your waiting the whole time for your dehydrator and all that, which we haven't even started yet, but the marinating and all that process gives you a little extra treat. This is our cooled down marinade that we cooked. I'm adding 6 ounces of the Olive Garden signature Italian dressing. I'm adding my garlic, and that was the fresh whole garlic. Now we're adding our pineapple tidbits that we cut all up, that we chopped pretty fine. Just adding all that together. All right, now we're going to sample this. I'm not going to show my face right now, but I'm going to let you hear the crunch. Good and crunchy little chips. Now back over to our jerky. We rinsed the meat after we cut it. We rinsed it again. We're going to be adding our marinade to that. It's getting cool. And we've got our other cool ingredients added to it, like the minced garlic and the pineapples. We're just going to pour that over. Now this is going to be salty because that's what's going to help break it down as well and help it dry out. I'm going to go ahead and give this a good stir. I did not bring my big bowl in, I forgot. So I had to transfer it to a little bit bigger bowl because we're going to add some water to it. About 2 cups. Now we are going to cover this and put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. Instead of covering it, I just put it in 2 big gallon-sized Ziploc bags and set it back inside the bowl with the marinade sauce. We'll just do it that way. It'd be a lot easier to deal with after the fact.
Okay, everybody, we got our deer jerky. It's been marinating for over 30 hours now. Jean did all the process of marinating the other day, so everything's been marinated, seasoned up good. So we're starting to lay it out. We got our dehydrator here. This is a Redhead. We got it set at 155, possibly about 9 hours right now because we preheated it. So it's been running for a little bit, at least 30 minutes. So The process now is just laying it all out on our grates, getting it all back together, and just letting it go. Anywhere from 4 to 10 hours should be good. You know, sometimes people like it a little drier. Some people like it a little not so dry. We like it dry, so we're gonna let it go, and we're gonna check it. So this is it. We're getting started on it. We're gonna lay it all out on these grates and get it put back together and just let it roll. Okay, we got it all loaded up. 5 racks loaded, ready to go. Already it's still set at 155. It's getting good heat. So right now we're about at 9 hours. So we're gonna check it halfway through and see how it works, see how it tastes. And so guys, we'll be back with you when the taste test is ready.
I cannot wait. All right, guys, it's been going on for 9 hours, and it's off now, and Mark and Dallas can't wait to dig in. All right, guys, so we made, besides what Mark and Dallas just grabbed them each a big handful, we have
Very good
6 of the 8-ounce containers. So each one of us will get 2. Eat them at your leisure when you want, but this way it's fair, because you let these boys go, I'll get none, and I did most of the work. So there you go.
Right.
So what you think about your jerky?
I love it. It's very, very good. We're gonna have to get more
Venison?
more venison, do more, because this ain't gonna last long. Not at all. But it's very good. I suggest that get you some venison, which we call deer around here, and get you a dehydrator and get